Hi everyone, and welcome to today's General Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. She's sleeping, or she's trying to sleep. I woke her up, but she's so cute. So I lost around like maybe 2 minutes towards the beginning, but nothing, I don't think anything pertinent. I can't talk today because Misha's so cute. So let's just get right to today's General Hospital. Oh, and did you notice, if you're on the East Coast, the news tried so hard not to break in with breaking news. Like, they were doing it in the commercials, and they like just broke in for a few minutes. So that kind of, they try really hard now, and I appreciate that. But let's get right to today's General Hospital recap. So Rick and Nina, and so Rick assures Nina that he won't tell anyone either about the blanket or her hearing voices. And then Madeline comes to visit Rick, and they start making out, a relationship that confuses me more than Nina and Rick ever did, because this just makes So then Madeline wishes that there were a way to do this plan without hurting Nina in the process, but the two things kind of contradict each other, because what you want to do is hurt Nina, like, because you want her money, like, you want to take her livelihood at the very least, you know what I mean? So then Rick questions Madeline's motives and wonders if she really does think Nina would be better off in an institution, and why. So then he questions about what happened to Nina to push her over the edge. He wants to know what damaged her, and Madeline just wants him to focus on the baby thing that he's doing right now to get Nina out of the picture. So then, how serious are Rick and Madeline? Because it's like really freaking me out. Their whole relationship. And then she sees the baby blanket, and he's like, oh yeah, I had a replica of the blanket made. And she's like, I didn't know blankets had replicas. And he's like, yeah, if they have, I forget what you call them. And it's a thing, it's the initials, but I forget what they're called. So does Madeline want to do this or not? Like, she's so back and forth. It honestly, it perplexes me. So then Madeline's worried that that Nina's going to confide her weakness in someone, and Rick's like, she has no friends, she's totally isolated outside of me. And I'm like, not exactly true, Rick. So at the Metrocourt restaurant, we see Julian and Alexis, and they're having breakfast, and Alexis is concerned because every time somebody in her life has gotten out of the mob, they get pulled back in more than ever, and he assures her that that's not going to happen, and that he's just waiting for the vacuum to get filled, and that Sonny's probably going to take his place, and it's no big deal. So then Juliet is also not pleased that Denise is living with him, and he's pretty much had enough. And then Julian tells Alexis that Denise is dating Franco, and Alexis is like, poor Denise. And then they just have the rest of, like, breakfast time conversation. They basically trying to figure out where to go after breakfast. At Sonny's house, Sonny and Carly tell Michael that they're getting married, and that they're getting married again, and they want Michael to be at the wedding. This is where some of the stuff cuts out a little bit. So then Michael says that he wishes them well, but he doesn't think he can attend the wedding. And I don't blame him, because not only is this like Sonny living out his life now more than ever, but now he's getting married, and like it doesn't help with the whole you murdered my father and you're definitely not paying for it at all kind of thing. And then Michael doesn't want to keep feeding the hate and anger, but at the same time he doesn't want to lie, and he's not ready for this whole thing to be over and done with. And he promises he'll think about it. So then Michael brings up the subject of Denise and scheduling time for Denise to see Avery, and Sonny wonders why Michael's making this effort for Kiki after what she and Morgan did to him, and he's like, it's for Avery, because it doesn't help her to have everyone at each other's throats. So Sonny and Carly tell Michael that they don't trust Denise, and they've both had really weird experience with her, and Sonny says anything else Michael needs, Sonny can make happen, but this is not going to be something that happens. And Michael's like, you know what, I'm not personally invested, I was just over here asking for Kiki, so like I don't care either way. Scott and Franco. So Franco visits Scott, and Franco talked to Scott about how he wants to get Rick away from Nina because Rick's only with her for her money, and I'm like, if only you knew the extent of it. So then Franco tells Scott that he's already involved with somebody else, Denise DiMuccio, and Scott does not seem pleased. So Franco, not so subtly, brings up the recording And Scott shows it right to him because that's the smart thing you do, Mr. DA. That's what happens when you have a DA that's bought by, like, criminals. But anyway, so then Scott's executive assistant comes in to let him know that Jordan wants to talk to him. And they do, like, a shout-out to executive assistants. So people in the business world, is today Executive Assistants Day or something? Because that was, like, just an odd shout-out. And I know they do stuff for, like, voting and stuff, so I'm just wondering. So then Franco attempts to break into the desk and fails. And then Scott tells Franco he has to leave. Scott doesn't catch him or anything. It's time for him to leave because Scott has to do work. Kiki and Silas. So Kiki tells Silas how much Michael is going to help Denise see Avery, and Silas is really apprehensive about Kiki helping Denise out. So then Silas tells Kiki that he doesn't want her to get her hopes up, and she doesn't want to, like, he doesn't want her to get hurt by Denise, and she's like, don't worry, Denise would never hurt me. That was not an impression of any sort. I just felt like it. So then Silas keeps making underhanded remarks about Morgan, and Kiki's like, I wish you two would find some time to get to know each other, because you guys could really get along. And I'm like, oh, honey. And then Kiki kind of implies that the only way for her and Morgan to go is up, and that really scares Silas. And he's like, well, you're not ready to settle down. You're not thinking about that, right? And she's like, well, Morgan is so great. Why would I let him go? And at this point, Silas is beside himself, and I really think he was going to tell her, but then Nina walks in. And Nina, after Kiki leaves, Nina confides in Silas that she's afraid she's losing her mind. She tells Silas about hearing the baby and that Rick was there and he didn't hear it either. And then he tells Nina that she's changed and she's not the same person who acts out or seeks revenge. Like, she still has a ways to go, but she's not who she used to be. And she asks him if the crying she heard could possibly mean she did kidnap baby Avery, and Nina thinks she blocked out this whole ordeal, and Silas is like, look, there's no way you could have taken her for the amount of time, cared for her, made sure she was okay, and then returned her and blocked the whole thing out. There's just no way. So, without a shadow of a doubt, he's positive that she didn't take Avery, and she's like, well, then how do you explain the blanket? And he's like, what blanket? But then he has to leave because he gets called to an emergency, and he tells her not to question how much he cares about her or her well-being, and that he believes in her. So maybe that's all she needs to keep her on this side of the fence for now. Morgan and Denise, our favorite. I can't even be sarcastic about them. That's how much I'm not enjoying them. So Morgan threatens to sink Denise's chances to see Avery with Sunny if she doesn't tell him why she told Silas about the two of them. And then Morgan questions her on why she felt the need to tell Silas when she says she really didn't think Silas would tell anyone. And Morgan also insists on knowing why she spilled the beans to Silas, or else he's gonna... Oh, so he really wants to know the truth. He's, like, not giving up on this. And he's like, you know what, I'm going to tell Kiki myself what's going on between us if you don't tell me everything. So let's see how this goes. So Denise tells Morgan that Silas was hitting on her. Okay. And Morgan, ooh, what did I do? And Morgan, what does Morgan do? Oh, Morgan is really confused because if she's dating Franco to get rid of Silas, why didn't she just give Silas Franco's name when he was supposedly hitting on her? And she says she gave Silas the name of the guy that she really wants to be with. He's all she can think about, and she can't say that she forgets about him because that would be lying. And he admits that he can't get her out of his head either. And then they kiss. And then Kiki calls Morgan to tell him that Michael is going to talk to Sunny about Denise seeing the baby, and she's at Denise's place right now. Oh, by the way, Morgan, Denise, this whole thing's taking place at Denise's place, well, Julian's place, so Morgan's like, I'm at Denise's place right now, and I'm gonna tell her the good news, and I'm like, walk through that door, just walk through that door, Kiki, walk through it right now. So Denise and Morgan are like really getting into it and laying down on the couch, and I don't think they'll be able to recover in time if Kiki opens the door, but we don't get to see that because life isn't fair. Okay. Thank you for watching today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. It would mean so much. I hope the show doesn't get cut off for any of you, no matter what time zone you're in. At least on the East Coast, they're trying really hard not to cut into it. So hopefully they give everyone else the same consideration, because I know yesterday kind of got cut into. And if you could, I am running an Indiegogo campaign. It would mean a lot to me if you could check it out. The link's in the description. It's like the first thing there. William DeVry, who plays Julian, has contributed and supports our campaign, and it would mean a lot to me if you could donate. And if you can't donate, if you could share it, it would mean a lot to me. How many times can I say that? And every bit of donation helps. You know, if you can only donate $1, trust me, that's $1 that we need. If you can donate more, that would be amazing. But seriously, if everyone who has seen the campaign so far had donated $1, we would have surpassed our goal a while ago. So that would mean a lot to me. I will see you tomorrow for more General Hospital. I hope you have a great day. Bye!